Shalom, my friends. What if I told you that there is a spiritual technology, a forgotten key of David, that can manifest money in your life not in a year, not in a month, not in a week, but in as little as 1 hour? What if I told you that the crushing weight of financial pressure you feel right now could be lifted before the sun sets today? You would say, I am crazy. You would say it is impossible. And a few years ago, I would have agreed with you. But then I tried it, and I was shocked. And today, I am going to share with you exactly what I did, step by step, so that you can try it too. But before we open this vault, I need to know if you are truly ready to receive. This is not for the timid. This is not for the skeptic. This is for the spiritual warrior who is ready for a miracle now. If that is you, go to the comments right now and write in all capital letters, I am ready for my 1-hour miracle. This is your activation code. This is you telling the universe you are open for immediate business. Do it now. Now, listen. Our army of spiritual warriors is growing stronger every day. We are on a mission to reach 100,000 souls who are ready to reclaim their divine power and prosperity. If you are one of them, subscribe to this channel now. Join the ranks. And if you are serious about mastering the ancient spiritual laws of wealth, the doors to the Torah Millionaire Business School are open for a very limited time, for just $299. This is the masterclass where I unveil the entire Torah wealth system. The link is in the comments, but it is closing soon. All right, let's name the enemy. The enemy is the illusion of time. We have been brainwashed by the physical world to believe that everything takes time. Planting a seed takes time to grow. Building a business takes time. Healing takes time. And yes, manifesting money takes time. This is a lie. It is a lie, a brilliant and insidious strategy designed by the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, to keep you trapped in a prison of perpetual waiting. Its greatest weapon is the word tomorrow. It whispers, the miracle will come tomorrow. The breakthrough will happen next week. Your success is just around the corner. It keeps your hope alive, but your manifestation in the future. It wants you to be a hopeful prisoner, not a reigning king. God does not operate in time. God is the master of time. He can compress a lifetime of blessing into a single moment. The only thing that creates the delay is our lack of faith and our incorrect use of spiritual technology. The cost of this lie is immense. It is the sleepless nights, the anxiety, the missed opportunities, the feeling of being perpetually behind. It is the slow death of your dreams while you wait for a someday that never comes. It is the quiet agony of knowing you were made for more, but feeling trapped in a reality that moves at a snail's pace. The cost is not just financial, it is spiritual. It is the erosion of your faith, the dimming of your soul's light, until you accept the prison of realistic expectations as your permanent home. But the Torah gives us the secret to collapsing time. It is hidden in the story of the 12 spies in the book of Numbers. When the spies returned from the land of Israel, 10 of them said, "We cannot conquer the land. There are giants there. We are like grasshoppers in their eyes." They spoke about the present reality of lack and limitation. And what happened? They created that reality. An entire generation wandered in the desert for 40 years and died, never entering the promised land. But two of the spies, Caleb and Joshua, said something different. They said, "We shall surely go up and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it." They did not speak about the present reality. They spoke about a future, desired reality, as if it were happening now. They were using a divine technology to pull a future event into the present moment. They understood that speech is not for describing reality. Speech is for creating reality. They were not reporting on the facts. They were issuing a divine decree. They were overriding the present tense evidence of their senses with the future tense certainty of their faith. And what happened to them? They entered the promised land. They lived the reality they declared. This is one of the most profound secrets in the entire Torah. The universe does not respond to the reality you see. It responds to the reality you declare. The 10 spies described the world as it was, and they were trapped by it. Joshua and Caleb described the world as God promised it could be, and they were elevated by it. They understood that faith is not passive hope. It is an active, creative force. It is a form of speech that commands the future into the present. The secret is this: preemptive gratitude. Thanking God not for what you have, but for what you are about to receive, with such certainty that it forces the universe to deliver it. The prayer I am about to give you is the ultimate expression of this principle. It is a 3-word Hebrew prayer that collapses time. The 3 words are Todah al HaYeshua. It means, thank you for the salvation. Not, please save me. Not, I hope you will save me. It is a declaration of thanks for a rescue that has not yet happened in the physical world, but has already been decreed in the spiritual world. It is the highest level of faith. It is telling God, I trust you so completely that I am thanking you for the check before it has arrived in the mail. My personal breakthrough with this was born out of pure desperation. I was a multimillionaire, but a deal had gone terribly wrong. A partner had embezzled funds, and I was suddenly on the hook for a $250,000 payment that was due in 24 hours. If I didn't make the payment, my entire company would collapse into lawsuits and bankruptcy. I had assets, but they were tied up. I had no liquidity. Called everyone. I begged. I pleaded. Nothing. The banks said no. My friends disappeared. It was 3 p.m. and the payment was due by noon the next day. I was broken. Utterly and completely. This wasn't just about money. It was about my identity. I was the millionaire rabbi, the man who was supposed to have all the answers. And in that moment, I was a fraud. My empire was a house of cards, and the wind was blowing. I had nowhere to turn. The world had abandoned me. I went into my office, locked the door, and fell to the floor. I was about to start begging God, pleading, crying. But then I remembered the story of the spies. I remembered the teaching of my rabbi about preemptive gratitude. I made a decision. I was not going to beg. I was going to command. I stood up, and for 1 solid hour, from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., I did nothing but pace my office and repeat those 3 words over and over again. Todah al HaYeshua. Todah al HaYeshua. Todah al HaYeshua. At first, it felt foolish. My mind was screaming at me, "You're wasting time. Call someone else. Do something." But I persisted. After about 20 minutes, something shifted. The panic began to subside, replaced by a strange, unshakable calm. After 40 minutes, I started to laugh. I was laughing at the absurdity of my fear. I felt so certain that the solution was on its way, that the problem seemed ridiculous. For the last 10 minutes, I was not just saying the words, I was feeling them. I felt the gratitude, the relief, the joy of the problem being solved. I was living in the reality of the solution. My nervous system could not tell the difference between the memory of a past salvation and the experience of a future one. I had hacked my own biology with faith. I had commanded my soul to produce the feelings of the miracle before the miracle itself had arrived. At 4:01 p.m., I stopped. I sat down at my desk, filled with a peace that made no sense. And then my phone rang. It was an old client I hadn't spoken to in 3 years. He said, "I know this is completely out of the blue, but I was just thinking about you. I have some capital I need to deploy before the end of the quarter for tax reasons. Do you have any projects I can invest in? I can wire you up to $500,000 in the next hour." I was silent. I could not speak. Tears were streaming down my face. It was not a coincidence. It was a direct, immediate response. The money showed up in my account at 4:52 p.m. In less than 1 hour from the moment I finished the prayer. I was shocked. I was humbled. I had just experienced the power of collapsing time. And I understood something profound in that moment. The miracle wasn't the money. The miracle was the peace. The money was just the physical residue of the spiritual shift that had occurred within me. I had moved from a state of begging to a state of commanding, from a state of lack to a state of absolute certainty. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, simply rearranged itself to match my new internal reality. The money had no choice but to show up. Now let me give you the practical steps. I call it the 1-hour miracle protocol. Step number 1, the specific request. You must be crystal clear. What do you need and by when? Don't say, "I need more money." Say, "I need $5,400 for my rent payment by 5 p.m. tomorrow." Write it down. The universe loves specificity. In Kabbalah, we teach that a vague prayer creates a vague vessel, and a vague vessel cannot hold a specific blessing. You must create a clear, defined container for the miracle you are asking to receive. Be the architect of your request. Step number 2, the gratitude blitz. This is the core of the protocol. You will set a timer for a minimum of 15 minutes. You can do more, but 15 minutes is the minimum. For that entire time, you will do nothing but repeat the prayer, Todah al HaYeshua. Say it out loud, pace around the room, drown out the voice of doubt with the voice of faith. As you say it, you must feel the gratitude. Feel the relief of the problem being solved. Feel the joy of the money being in your account. You are not asking, you are thanking. Step number 3, the act of faith. Immediately after the gratitude blitz, you must perform one small action that demonstrates your faith that the miracle is done. This is crucial. It is the physical Amen to your spiritual prayer. If you need money for rent, maybe you email your landlord and say, "Just confirming I will be paying the rent in full tomorrow." If you need money for a car repair, maybe you call the mechanic and schedule the appointment. It must be an act that would be foolish if you weren't 100% certain the money was on its way. This act of faith is what opens the physical channel for the miracle to flow through. Let me give you 3 real-life examples from students of mine. Story number 1. Sarah. Sarah was a single mother who was about to be evicted. She needed $2,000 in 48 hours. She did the 1-hour miracle protocol, focusing on the gratitude blitz for 30 minutes. Her act of faith was to start packing her belongings, not to move out, but to move into a better apartment. She was acting as if the money was a down payment on an upgrade. Within an hour, her ex-husband, who hadn't paid child support in a year, called her out of the blue and said he felt a sudden, overwhelming urge to make things right. He wired her $5,000. Story number 2. Michael. Michael's business was failing. He needed $25,000 to make payroll by the end of the week. He did the protocol for a full hour. His act of faith was to write bonus checks for his employees, post-dated for the end of the week. He was thanking God for the provision by preparing to share it. The next day, a forgotten invoice from a client 2 years prior was suddenly paid with interest. The total was $27,500. Story number 3. Rebecca. Rebecca needed $800 for a medical procedure for her child. She was terrified. She did the protocol for 15 minutes. Her act of faith was to buy a get-well-soon card for her child. An hour later, she checked her mail and found a tax refund check she had no idea was coming. The amount was $825. Do you see the pattern? The prayer creates the spiritual reality. The act of faith creates the physical opening. The miracle flows through. Let me give you one more, because I want this to be burned into your soul. David, a musician, was struggling to pay his bills. He wanted to record an album, but was told it would cost $10,000 he didn't have. He did the protocol for 20 minutes. His act of faith? He booked a recording studio for the following week, a non-refundable deposit he couldn't afford. The next day, a local commercial producer heard one of his old songs on a streaming service and offered him $15,000 to use it in an advertisement. The pattern is undeniable. Now, let's talk about the modern application and the deeper Kabbalistic and scientific principles at play. In Kabbalah, this is about moving from the world of Asiya, the world of action and time, to the world of Beriah, the world of creation and thought. You are creating the reality in the higher worlds with such certainty that it has no choice but to manifest in the lower world. You are literally commanding your reality from the top down. Scientifically, you are engaging in a process of intense neural reprogramming. By forcing your brain to experience the elevated emotions of gratitude and relief before the event, you are priming your reticular activating system, RAS, to spot opportunities it would have otherwise missed. That phone call from my client? Maybe my RAS was suddenly attuned to notice it, whereas in a state of panic, I would have ignored it. The prayer attunes your spiritual frequency to the frequency of the solution. Think of it like a radio. If you want to listen to 98.7 FM, you cannot be tuned to 102.5. The solution is broadcasting on the frequency of gratitude and certainty. Your panic and doubt are broadcasting on the frequency of lack. The prayer forces you to change the station. It retunes your soul to the station where miracles are the daily news. This isn't just spiritual poetry. It's a description of a psycho-spiritual mechanism. Your belief system acts as a filter for reality. If your filter is set to hardship and delay, you will only perceive evidence that confirms that belief. When you force yourself into a state of preemptive gratitude, you are manually changing the filter. You are telling your subconscious mind, the reality has changed. The miracle is done. Now, go find me the evidence. And your mind, like a loyal soldier, will begin scanning the horizon for anything that matches that new command. Let's address the objections. 1. This sounds like magic. It's not magic. It is spiritual physics. It is using the laws of God's universe as they were designed. 2. What if it doesn't work in an hour? The 1-hour time frame is to create a container of intense, focused faith. Sometimes it takes 2 hours, sometimes a day. The timing is up to God. But your job is to believe with the intensity of a 1-hour deadline. The intensity is the catalyst. 3. I don't feel worthy. This has nothing to do with worthiness. This is a technology. It works for the righteous and the sinner. It is a law, like gravity. If you apply the law correctly, you will get the result. Let me be clear. This is not a transactional trick. If you do this with a heart full of doubt, trying to test God, it will likely fail. You must come to it with a sliver of genuine faith, a willingness to suspend your disbelief for just 15 minutes. You must choose to believe. The power is in the choice. And that choice, that single moment of willful belief, sends a signal to the cosmos. It is a declaration of your true identity. You are not a beggar. You are a co-creator. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a master of reality. This is the deepest meaning of being created in the image of God. It is the power to create worlds with your words. So, here is my challenge to you, the 1-hour miracle challenge. The next time you are in a situation of financial pressure, before you panic, before you despair, you will run this protocol. Here are your 3 immediate actions to prepare. 1. Identify your target. Right now, think of one specific financial need in your life. It could be big or small. Write it down. I need XXXX by date. This is your target for your first miracle. 2. Memorize the prayer. Memorize the 3 words, Todah al Hayeshua. Say it 10 times right now. Get it into your bones. Todah al Hayeshua. 3. Plan your act of faith. What is one small act of faith you could take that would correspond to that miracle? Decide on it now. Write it down. So, when the time comes, you are ready to pull the trigger. And here is a bonus action. Get a small notebook. Call it your miracle log. Every time you do this protocol, log the request, the time, and then log the result. You will be shocked at how quickly the pages fill up. This log will become your personal book of Psalms, a testament to the God who operates outside of time. Do not underestimate the power of this step. Reviewing your past miracles is the fastest way to generate the faith for your future ones. When doubt creeps in, you will open your miracle log and show your Yetzer Hara the written proof of God's faithfulness. You will say, "Look at this. He did it then, and he will do it now." It becomes an undeniable arsenal against the forces of fear and delay. Remember the words of the Talmud. In the way a person wants to go, so is he led. If you want to go the way of miracles, you will be led in the way of miracles. If you want to go the way of doubt and time, you will be led in the way of doubt and time. The choice is yours. You can hear this, be momentarily inspired, and then go back to the prison of how. How will I get the money? How will this work? Or you can decide right now to step out of the prison of how and into the kingdom of who. Who is the source of all abundance? Who is the master of time? Who is the God of miracles? When you focus on the who, he takes care of the how. This is the choice between living as a slave to your circumstances or as a child of the King. Today, I'm not just asking you, I am begging you. Choose to remember who your Father is. The entire universe is a conversation between you and God. Every moment you are sending a message with your thoughts, your words, and your feelings. For too long you have been sending the message of, I am lacking, I am waiting, I am powerless. Today is the day you change the message. Today you send the message, my Father is the King, and I am his child. The inheritance is mine, and I claim it now.